His name is Eldrick Tiger Woods, and since he was 8 months old, he's been playing golf.
At 8 months, I had a cut-down putter made for him. He climbed down out of his chair, and he had a golf swing.
Even though Tiger's only 2.5 years old, like the fellows on the PGA Tour, he can be reluctant to give interviews.
For more than a decade, one man seemed untouchable. He wasn't just winning golf tournaments, he was rewriting the sport itself.
That's right. Now, will you please help me? Do you like playing golf, yes or no?
At age 2, I took him out on a course, and he played a regulation course, 9 holes, which is par 36, and he shot a 48. He entered his first tournament, which was a pitch, putt, and drive tournament.
Fans believed Tiger Woods would shatter every record ever set and retire as the greatest athlete golf had ever seen. But then came the scandals, the injuries, the arrests, the crashes, and what began as the greatest sports dynasty of the modern era slowly transformed into one of the most shocking downfalls in sports history.
It is generally assumed that Phil Mickelson, the left-hander out of the University of Arizona, will be the next great touring pro, and he might well be.
To what he can be, right now, I would put him on a par with at least 50% of the touring pros.
The rise of an unstoppable legend. Before the downfall, there was domination. Tiger Woods turned professional in 1996 and immediately changed golf forever. At just 21 years old, he won the 1997 Masters by a record margin and became the youngest champion in tournament history.
Into the trees again.
Over the next decade, Tiger became more than a golfer. He became a global phenomenon. Sponsors lined up to work with him. Television ratings exploded whenever he played. Millions of people who had never watched golf suddenly tuned in just to see Tiger. Between 1997 and 2008, Woods collected major championship after major championship.
That is some golf shot right there.
By 2008, he had already won 14 majors and looked destined to surpass the legendary record of 18 major championships held by Jack Nicklaus. At the time, nobody imagined that the greatest threat to Tiger's legacy wouldn't come from another golfer. It would come from his own life. 2009, the night everything changed, November 27, 2009, a date that changed Tiger Woods forever. Just after Thanksgiving, Woods crashed his Cadillac Escalade into a fire hydrant and a tree outside his Florida home. Initially, it seemed like a minor accident, but within days, a far bigger story emerged. Reports began surfacing about extramarital affairs. Then more reports appeared, and more. Soon, Tiger's carefully crafted image as the perfect athlete completely collapsed. The scandal dominated headlines around the world. Major sponsors distanced themselves. Fans felt betrayed. And for the first time in his career, Tiger disappeared from golf. The athlete who once looked invincible suddenly seemed human, very human. 2010, divorce and public humiliation, the fallout continued throughout 2010. Tiger publicly apologized for his actions and spent time away from the sport. His marriage to Elin Nordegren eventually ended in divorce. The golfer who had spent years building the perfect image now found himself at the center of one of the biggest celebrity scandals in sports history. Although he returned to golf, something felt different. The aura was gone, opponents no longer looked intimidated, and Tiger no longer looked unbeatable. 2011, 2013, fighting to stay on top to his credit, Woods fought back. He won tournaments again. He climbed back to world number one. For a brief period, it looked as if the scandal might become just a temporary detour in an otherwise legendary career. But another enemy was quietly waiting: his body. Years of explosive golf swings and relentless training had taken a massive toll, and soon, the injuries began piling up. 2014. The injury nightmare begins in 2014. Woods underwent back surgery. For most golfers, that would be concerning. For Tiger, it was the beginning of a medical nightmare. The surgery forced him to miss major tournaments and raised questions about whether he could ever dominate again. Fans kept hoping for another comeback, but each return seemed shorter than the last. Every time Tiger looked ready to compete again, another physical setback appeared. 2015-2017, surgery after surgery, things got worse. Tiger underwent additional back procedures in 2015. Then another. By 2017, he had undergone a spinal fusion surgery, one of the most serious operations of his career. The once dominant athlete was now struggling just to stay healthy. Questions about retirement started becoming louder. Many wondered if his career was effectively over. Then came another shocking incident. 2017, Dewey arrest in Rock Bottom. In May 2017, police found Tiger Woods asleep behind the wheel of his vehicle in Florida. The engine was running, his car had visible damage, and officers believed he was impaired. The mugshot spread across the internet within hours. For many fans, it was heartbreaking. The same athlete who once stood at the top of the sports world was now appearing in police photographs. Woods later explained that prescription medications and painkillers contributed to the situation after years of surgeries and chronic pain. He eventually pleaded guilty to reckless driving under a plea agreement. This was no longer just a golf story. It had become a story about survival. 2018-2019, the greatest comeback in sports just when people stopped believing in him, Tiger produced one of the most incredible comebacks ever seen. In 2018, he won the Tour Championship. Then came 2019. The Masters, Augusta National. Against all odds, Tiger Woods won his 15th major championship. The victory stunned the sports world, 11 years after his previous major title. After scandals, after surgeries, after a Dewey arrest, Tiger was back, millions celebrated. Some even began wondering if he could still catch Jack Nicklaus's record. For one magical moment, the nightmare seemed over. 2021, the second major crash, then disaster struck again. On February 23, 2021, Tiger Woods suffered a horrific single-vehicle crash in California. His SUV left the road and rolled multiple times. The injuries were severe. Doctors performed multiple surgeries on his right leg. Many feared he might never walk normally again. Forget winning golf tournaments. People simply hoped he would recover. Investigators found no evidence of impairment, but reports revealed Woods had been driving at extremely high speeds before the accident. This became the second major vehicle crash of his life, and perhaps the most physically devastating. 2022-2025, limited returns and constant pain, Tiger somehow returned to competition. Just walking Augusta National was considered remarkable, but the reality was obvious. His body was no longer capable of handling a full professional schedule. He played selectively, missed tournaments, and continued battling injuries. Then, another setback arrived. An Achilles injury required surgery and kept him away from competitive golf for extended periods. The dream of chasing more majors was fading fast. 2026. The third crash, March 2026, brought yet another shocking headline. Tiger Woods was involved in another rollover accident in Florida. This time, authorities charged him with Dewey. For fans, it felt painfully familiar. Vehicle accident. Police investigation. Questions about impairment. Negative headlines. The cycle had returned. This became the third major crash associated with Woods since 2009 and his second Dewey-related incident. Many wondered whether this would finally be the moment Tiger walked away from golf permanently. Stepping away from golf a few days later, Woods made a major announcement. He revealed he was stepping away from golf to focus on his health and seek treatment. The decision meant missing another Masters tournament and temporarily putting his playing future on hold. After decades of battling injuries, scandals, surgeries, and public scrutiny, Woods acknowledged that recovery needed to become the priority. The golf world responded with support. Even many critics agreed that his health mattered more than another comeback attempt. The legacy, fall, fight, repeat Tiger Woods' story isn't a simple rise and fall tale. It's a story of dominance, destruction, redemption, and resilience. He won 15 major championships. changed golf forever, survived one of the biggest scandals in sports history, came back from multiple surgeries, won the Masters when almost nobody believed he could, and yet he also became a cautionary tale about fame, pressure, injuries, and personal struggles. Whether he ever plays competitive golf again remains uncertain. But one thing is undeniable. No athlete has experienced a journey quite like Tiger Woods, from the highest highs to the lowest lows. His career remains one of the most dramatic stories sports has ever witnessed. Tiger Woods went from golf's greatest champion to one of sport's most complicated figures, and his story still isn't over. Do you think Tiger will ever make one final comeback? Or have we already seen the last chapter of his legendary career? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss our next deep dive into the biggest rises, falls, fortunes, and untold stories in the world of sports and celebrities. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.